This is the daughter of the ruler of Dubai, and apparently she uses controversial rule on social media.
So I usually do my homework. I find somebody who knows somebody or something. They could give me some information, like, who is it? Like, who is he? And, Frenchie, they got me the tape. They got me the tape of his mother's house, where his mom's work at. You know what I'm saying? The other cribs, the studios, stuff like that.
That's the Cali tape.
Right.
Okay.
50 Cent refuses to let French Montana breathe. Every time French's name surfaces on blogs, 50 is ready with fresh trolling like he's been waiting for the moment. But this time, it's more than jokes or petty shade. It has sparked a deeper conversation. French Montana isn't just avoiding industry drama. Rumors suggest he may have stepped into something darker. The golden cage of Dubai royalty. On the surface, headlines say, French Montana is engaged to a Dubai princess worth $18 billion. To fans, it looks like he's leveled up from local star to global kingpin. But behind the glamour, the story grows complicated. Sources close to the scene whisper that his escape plan may have less to do with love and more with survival. With Diddy facing federal heat and investigators collecting evidence against his circle, French may have needed protection, and Dubai seemed like paradise. But paradise has shadows. People familiar with Dubai's underworld claim the wealth, luxury cars, and endless money mask darker truths. Rumors about princes with extreme appetites have circulated for years. Tales of Western celebrities being flown in for secret deals and wild scenarios didn't just appear yesterday. So when French aligns himself with a princess holding billions, questions arise. Did he fall in love? Or did he find the safest escape plan money could buy? The pieces seem to fit too neatly. Survival appears like the stronger motive. This is where 50 Cent's shade cuts deep. His jokes about French being bought are not only about an engagement ring, they imply French didn't find freedom. He simply exchanged one master for another. He may have left Diddy's storm only to enter a new world ruled by powerful men with money and no accountability. The irony is sharp. French thought Dubai was his exit. But if even part of those stories are true, he may have walked from Bad Boy's fire into Dubai's furnace. Federal heat eventually fades, but royalty in Dubai plays for keeps. What looked like a $7 billion escape plan may be less salvation and more a glittering trap. French might have bought time, but the cost could be far heavier than imagined.
I'm sure there were some other ones also.
Yeah. I came to Steve Rifkin when I had Chopper Down.
Mm-hmm.
I walked in the office, it was him and Gabi.
Yep.
And Gabi was manager. I was like, yo, Steve, give me $200,000. Let me go make music. You know what I'm saying? Just let me. Steve was like, nah, I'll give it to you.
Never got it.
Never got it. I dropped.
Which is funny because Gabi's the president of SRC. Steve is like the CEO. But
yeah, so I don't know what type
but Steve makes the final call.
Yeah. So I asked for $200,000. You know what I'm saying?
To understand why French Montana would risk it all in Dubai, you have to go back to how he even joined Bad Boy Records. French didn't simply blow up with Pop That and fall into a deal. The circumstances around his signing always carried suspicion. And with recent revelations about Diddy, fans are re-examining the story. French wasn't a rookie begging for a contract. He had options. Roc Nation considered him, MMG showed interest, even Kanye's camp circled him. But instead of signing with them, he chose Diddy, a man known for shady contracts and hidden demands. Why? Allegedly, this deal was about lifestyle, not music. Bad Boy wasn't just a label, it was access to parties, women, and perks for those who played along. French admitted he accepted less upfront money than Ross or Jay-Z offered. Still, he went with Puff. Photos from 2016 to 2019 showed him looking worn out after weekends with Diddy, and once Diddy's arrest in 2024 exposed the industry's secrets, the narrative grew darker. Producers began claiming that Bad Boy deals came with disturbing strings attached. Some said they were blackballed for refusing to participate in private events. So when people looked back at French's sudden rise, suspicions grew. He received a custom Ciroc flavor from Diddy right after a night together. A viral birthday video showed Diddy in a robe and French shirtless, looking too close for comfort. And French himself admitted he wanted the big bag, and Puff was the only one bold enough to give it. The industry began viewing his career as a trade, personal dignity for elevation. Now, critics believe he's using the same playbook in Dubai. Once you've proven you'll sacrifice for opportunity, people assume you'll do it again, only for a bigger reward. In mid-2024, French appeared at Paris Fashion Week with a fiancée, Chiara, a princess tied to Dubai's ruling family. This wasn't just romance, it was a power move. The timing aligned perfectly with the federal case against Diddy. Associates were subpoenaed, and French was among Puff's closest allies. Instead of waiting, he tied himself to a dynasty worth over $18 billion. Marrying into that wealth meant protection, power, and a shield from outside scrutiny. To fans, it looked like a fairy tale. To critics, it looked like survival disguised as love. His sudden relocation to Dubai, just as the storm in the US intensified, raised eyebrows. Every polished appearance with his princess seemed less like love and more like calculated safety.
Tell you what I actually learned. Yeah. A friend of mine is an air hostess, and her friend was on a flight with her, and her friend was eating like a very specific diet. So apparently the thing is, it's actually a control thing. I don't know if I can speak about sheikhs.
No, speak.
So these guys actually pay these women to hold a strict diet for like 2 weeks so that they can know that they are in complete control of what that woman is putting into her body, and the girl is shit on them.
Wow.
So the girls aren't even getting shit on, the girls are shit on these guys, because then the guys feel like it's sick, like it's a control thing. So then they know like, oh, you listened to me for 2 weeks.
Yeah, so that's probably their kink, that girls actually listen to them.
No 2-minute noodles.
The comments online stay harsh. You traded Diddy for Dubai. Others warn, better hope the sheikhs don't treat you the way Puff did. French may think he elevated by linking with royalty, but insiders whisper he stepped into a trap. Escaping the US doesn't guarantee freedom in the UAE. It may mean a different kind of contract. Dubai shows the world Lamborghinis, skyscrapers, and pet tigers on yachts. But beneath the shine, rumors of dark palace parties have existed for years. Influencers fly in for glamour but leave with troubling stories. Some claim outsiders were treated as objects, not guests. And these whispers included men as well as women. Now picture French Montana in that world. Standing beside Chiara and her family's fortune, he is not powerful, he is ornamental. In Dubai, money is legacy and politics is bloodline. He doesn't control the game. He's a piece on their board. His fiancée, Chiara, is the daughter of one of the most powerful rulers alive. French may shine publicly, but behind palace gates, power does not favor outsiders. The royal family carries its own scandals. In 2024, Chiara shocked the world by publicly divorcing her husband with 3 words. I divorce you. A rare display of defiance that revealed cracks in royal life. Add to that Princess Latifah's failed escape and Princess Shamsa's alleged abduction, both tied to the same ruler, now French's father-in-law, and the fairy tale looks fragile. This so-called $7 billion escape plan appears clever. Marry into obscene wealth, gain residency, and shield yourself from federal heat. But socially, it feels like a repeat. For years, people mocked French as Diddy's protégé. Now critics say he hasn't escaped that role. He's simply exchanged one handler for another. Hip-hop once sold French as the gritty underdog with Bronx hustle. But Dubai royalty does not play like Bad Boy Records. There, you don't outshine them, embarrass them, or outlast your usefulness. Freedom isn't promised. French may have left America's boiling water only to sit on Dubai's stove. Ironically, the loudest critic is 50 Cent. But what if 50's trolling is more than mockery? What if he's warning French of a trap? 50 is known for roasting, but sometimes shows big brother energy. He's called French washed and a Diddy leftover, but perhaps he sees danger ahead. Still, what looks like a cage to outsiders may feel like paradise to French. Not everyone wants independence. Some want comfort. To him, this might not be imprisonment, but elevation, air conditioning, luxury cars, billions in backing. What others call servitude, he may call security. That's why 50's jabs sting. They carry truth. 50 built his empire on independence, owning his brand, and turning hustle into power. French may have chosen servitude for survival, but in the end, who's really winning? The man fighting for credibility in hip-hop, or the man untouchable behind palace walls, shielded by billions? To us, he may look like property. To him, he may finally feel like royalty. That paradox is French Montana's reality.
stars were seen as toys, not people. Now put French Montana in that picture. Standing beside Sheikh Amara and her family's $18 billion fortune, he's not powerful, he's ornamental. And in a kingdom where money is legacy and politics is bloodline, he doesn't call the shots. He's a piece on their chessboard, and Sheikha Mara, she's the daughter of one of the most powerful autocrats of our time. French Montana might shine overseas, but let's be real, he's just pretty foreign famous. Enough to bring glitz to the table, but not powerful enough to fight back if the royals decide he's just another accessory. And that's exactly what folks online are saying. This ain't an escape from Diddy, it's just an upgrade to new handlers. Instead of freak-offs in Miami, it's private villas in Dubai. Bigger palaces, bigger shadows, and the family French just tied himself to, they are no strangers to global scandal. Remember Sheikh Amara's viral Insta divorce in 2024? She stunned the world by dropping her husband with 3 words, "I divorce you." Public defiance that bold is unheard of in royal circles. Admirable? Absolutely. But it also showed just how messy life behind those palace gates can really be. Add to that the infamous royal baggage, Princess Latifah's failed escape attempt, Princess Shamsa's alleged abduction, both tied back to their father, the absolute ruler of Dubai, who now just happens to be French's brand new father-in-law. Suddenly, that glossy fairy tale sheen is looking cracked, because when power that heavy moves against you, freedom ain't promised. And that's why the internet keeps calling this French's $7 billion escape plan. On paper, it's genius. Marry into obscene wealth, secure residency, and tuck yourself under a royal shield if the feds come knocking. But socially, it feels like déjà vu. For years, people clowned French as Diddy's boy toy. The shirtless dinners, the birthday serenades, the C-Rock endorsements. Now the gossip says he didn't escape the role, he just leveled it up. From one sugar daddy to an entire dynasty of potential ones. And here's the bite. Hip-hop sold us French as the gritty underdog, Moroccan roots with Bronx hustle, Coke boys pride. But Dubai royalty? They don't play like Bad Boy Records. You don't outshine them, you don't embarrass them, and you definitely don't outlive your usefulness if even a shred of those whispers are true. So yeah, he left the hot water boiling in the States, but in Dubai, whoo baby, he might have sat himself right on the stove. Here's the real gag in all this chaos. The loudest voice dragging French Montana is none other than 50 Cent. But pause on that for a second. What if 50 ain't just clowning? What if, beneath all the trolling, he's really trying to warn French? Because you know how 50 moves, big brother energy that roasts you nonstop but secretly wants you to win. He's been shading French for years, calling him washed, calling him a Diddy leftover. But maybe, just maybe, he sees the trap French is walking into. A trap that doesn't come with chains but reeks of those velvet cages people whisper about in Dubai. But flip the coin, what if it's not even a trap to French? We look at him like, damn, bro, you sold your soul for protection, but maybe this is exactly what he wanted. See, not everybody's chasing freedom. Some people chase comfort. French might not see himself as a prisoner locked in some palace. He might see himself as the chosen one. The Bronx hustler who flipped mixtapes and ended up with gold-plated security. What we call a cage, he might call heaven. Air conditioning, a driver on call, and billions in the bank. That's why 50's jabs sting so hard, because they're laced with truth. 50 built his empire on independence, owning his name, turning street smarts into boardroom power. Meanwhile, French might have flipped survival into servitude, but at the end of the day, who's really winning? The man still battling for credibility in hip-hop, or the man sipping tea behind palace walls, scandal-proof, untouchable, sitting on a $7 billion safety net? It's messy, it's ironic, and it's the paradox French Montana now lives in. To us, he looks like property, but to him, he might finally feel like royalty. And maybe that's the biggest twist of them all.